How you like it, Vince? Open it up, let's see what the doors look like. Pretty neat interior. Yeah.
He reacts the opposite food that Mark does. It's chemistry.
Well, Mark's sure a big kid.
Yeah, he is. But he's just like, oh, he gets something
The other one. Right! Beautiful! Nice play! And took about a day past emission, so.
Safety any day of the week. Strong safety. This is where I can hit somebody really, really hard. Nowhere. Grab his feet, son. Look at him. He's a big cross. Oh, yeah! Bumble. Oh, and they got it. Come on, Billy! Come on, sideline. Come on, D. Go! Let's go, D! Take him out! Take him out where? Take him out of a nice dinner? Oh, handed the ball off. Got it. Take your head off, D! Kill him! Stiffed him! Oh, yeah. Hey, Ruth. No, they got another 5 years. Go, defense! Think they're going to the end?
Got it.
Same play they used last. Oh, fumble.
Get in there.
What a quarterback thing to do.
Go, Steve.
Then they're just going to get out of the way.
Die.
There you go.
Let's go, Reed. Just block it. Get in there. Come on, Red. Block it.
These guys, though.
All the way back. Come on, Jack. Come on, Red. Let's go.
Fumble.
Get on it. Don't pick it up.
The guy does not have the matching uniform anymore. Smoke him. There you go. He's on the grass. Come on. Oh, a little high. Oh, nice hit though. It's in the crowd.
Jim. You been on the other side of 50 yet?
Yeah, it's a launch site.
Stand up. You know what to do. What did I tell you to do? And then do what? This play, all right? All right.
You can't really let you guys release. What you doing? Blitz, you got to check.
Coach, give me jersey. I'll go.
Catch. He's got it. One block. And he got away from him.
Missed him. What are you doing? Who's got 80?
Good job, Lauren.
Go down. 18. Okay. Ooh, bad.
Go get it, Canoe!
Vince playing the first half. Right there, Vince. Nice pass.
No, inside. Good.
Inside, buddy.
Touchdown. He's gone.
TD. Nice pass, Vince. Crazy ass. This is only going to flutter to me.
Block it, Tony.
Hey, down front, meet.
Fire.
Hey, yo, Vince. Yes!
Nice play.
That was sweet. He doesn't look nervous at all. No.
Come on, hustle back. Let's go. Keep it.
Little Bronco you bought.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fine for a first car.
Oh yeah.
Each of my kids have had an accident not too long after they got their car, so.
This is going to be the exception. No. Tell me if Keep your heads on. Let's go, Ryan. Come on, get him back, babe. Let's go. Andrew. Go offense. Wake up, Houston. They weren't set yet.
What is this? What is this? I might as well have the whistle.
He must be a Big East referee. Come on, 40 must be over the line.
What should he do?
So which is your son, Uncle?
Oh, my son's not. He doesn't.
No, he.
Right.
Here's a next door neighbor, number 64. They're best friends.
Tony, bury someone. Let's go, bury someone.
I said, I'll look at it and see. He said, well, maybe it's something you should tie into your fundraising, you know. I said, well, I don't know how you tie it. He said, well, maybe sell it, get a principal, or it's $90 or something.
Well, that sounds like a needed thing to do.
Yeah.
Is this from a friend of yours, or?
Yeah, a real good friend.
Get him, Tony.
He's over there. I think he's going to press.
Claire, what are you doing here?
I was looking for Katie.
No, they're not.
Little do I know. Well, Annie was going to pick her up and take her to doctor practice.
My brother is. Get behind me.
get busy.
I know. I could have been calling
Vince's first time to solo, picking kids up to go to the football game. The last Arapahoe football game for this year. Well, he just went to pick Mac Partos up around the corner, and then to Adam Hunt's. It's a beautiful day. This is playoff game. If Vince gets one snap in this game, he'll let her. Let's wish him luck. Bronco's second playoff game. Today they play Pomona, and decorating the buses to give the kids a little boost.
It's about time I slowly, lonely fell out there.
Every game, Mark said.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we went.
I've had a whisk.
Who's nervous?
Yeah, second half.
Were you a little nervous in the last 5 minutes?
Yeah, they did.
Well, they take that stupid clock and turn it on.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
And my niece is fiance. Yeah, you never know. Baseball. Yeah, you don't know. She called right
God, I hate that. Why do they do that? Turn that off in the last 2 minutes. What is the purpose of that?
Field times, Zach. Yeah, every level. I remember watching the World Cup final. I think
I would love to take
it was in English. They were playing in Argentina.
I don't think no, but around the hood.
Pretty down.
These guys shouldn't be allowed to dribble out like this.
Tell them they're not. Hold them at the front door, Jan.
I figured they were well aware of it.
I know, but I got this flare. 2-3, go Warriors.
You seem a little bit nervous.
Do I have to spell anything? Yeah. Do we have to? Yeah. Do we have to?
Are you a little nervous or something?
Oh, me?
It's okay. Just do it.
He hasn't gone down there either, huh?
No.
Oh, Jan, there's one that snuck out. You gotta.
Now, he's the one I talked to.
He's the one you talked to?
He got the message. He came out in the group.
Don't come at you. Not allowed to come out. They're all coming. What I tell you.
Hey!
Get back in there, man.
Now, you all have to come out at once. You have to bring them out together.
I would just come out to check it out. Early.
You've got them so wired in there.
Well, they're pretty wide.
Hey, stay in there.
sponsored by the Colorado High School Activities Association. The Pomona Panthers and Arapahoe Warriors competing in today's 6A quarterfinals have emerged from a field of 27 schools playing 6A football in Colorado. Regardless of the outcome of today's game, we ask that all the spectators consider the time and effort that each of these teams have put forth in reaching this quarterfinal contest. By their conduct, allow players to feel pride in their communities and the schools. We also ask that you show your appreciation for the countless students also in the spotlight on the field today, the cheerleaders, palms, flags, the band, and the students who have supported their teams at home and away. These young people have played an integral part in their team's success. This time we remind you that the Board of Education of the Littleton Public Schools, in the interest of the health of students, staff, and community, has declared all property owned by the district to be tobacco-free. We respectfully request that no smoking or chewing take place in this stadium or in the adjacent parking lots. Your cooperation is both expected and appreciated. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, last week, Al Shalgi in a... To the Warriors' 31-yard line. He's brought down by number 21, Jeremy Close, and number 47, Kurt Gilliland. First and 10 from the...
scenes that really make things happen and get things done, and they're taken for granted sometimes. And I'd like to introduce, and I'd like to ask to stand, the mothers of our football players. Would the mothers of our football players please stand and be acknowledged, please? I know you're all learning a little bit about football. And dads too, but see, dads know football. And then you get in these discussions about explaining the 10 yards and the first down to mom. And you might as well break her in as an astronaut, because that is pretty tough to do. I have tried to do that with my wife. My daughter understands, but my wife doesn't. My mother definitely doesn't understand, so we don't even discuss it. And dads seem to have a different degree of commitment to football because they played it, they watch it. For the most part, they really understand it. They can help coach. We as dads have never lost a game from the stands. I have never lost one game from that press box of the stands, and yet we've got a lot of suggestions and recommendations. But moms are the special ones that have to wash those uniforms, intervene at the dinner table sometimes when dad says, you could have blocked this, you know, you could have those kind of discussions, and maybe moms, oh, I think, Coach, we've only had 2 players ever graduate from this high school and play in the NFL. Is that true? 2? 1? Court for New Orleans Saints and Court for whom? Philadelphia? 2 out of 28 years. Pretty tough competition. So we know how important the grades are. Another group of people I really want to take a minute to recognize are people that are very important to me because they help the programs keep going, and they rarely be introduced individually or just collectively. I know that Mike did that, but I would like another round of applause, folks, if we could, for the wives and significant others for these coaches. Would you stand, please? And the last group I want to introduce are my favorite people, because I was like that. And it's going to take a lot of courage when I identify you to stand up, be recognized. And that is the members of this football team who are on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th strings. The players who go to practice all the time, pay the same price as the starters, and rarely get a chance to get in the games, no matter what grade that young man or young lady is in. You see, when you watch the NFL, there are so many players in the NFL that are high profile now who you never heard of in college, you never heard of in high school. Sure, there were some outstanding ones who made it to the NFL, but a lot of those people who make it to that level were not outstanding. See, we can never measure the degree of tenacity, commitment in your heart. We can only look at the kind of performance that we see today, but we cannot predict who is going to be in their junior year at college, a football player at a major college level, and go on from there. Because, gentlemen and ladies, as you keep going on, you're getting better. You are not at your peak. So you want to keep trying. So I'm going to ask all the members, if you can admit it, 2nd, 3rd, 4th string athletes, would you please stand and be recognized? We want to appreciate you tonight. In some ways, we really believe that it is much more difficult for players like Travis, and Byron, and Chad, and Tommy, Mark and those guys to get out on that field and play after play to play for this high school. But in some ways, it is much easier. And I'm not saying that critically for the starting unit, because the ones who come out, do the calisthenics lineup and know they're not going to play that game unless something is really special and necessary, sometimes that is much more difficult. And it takes a special individual to stay with football because of all the elements and variables, the weather, the injuries, the time commitment, the variety of things you have to learn on offense and defense. This is not an easy sport to play. Thank you for sticking with the program and doing your best. It's interesting that John Klein's daughters and grandson is here tonight because I wanted to read something that was at his funeral in the spring of 1990. And I think this comes from something all of our coaches would be willing to share. It's a point to ponder, and the author is unknown. It goes like this: 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, or the sort of house I lived in, or the kind of car I drove. But the world may be different because I was important to the life of a boy. And I think that's something that our coaches really believe. And it's something when I saw at John's funeral, I know he did, and many of our coaches were mentored by John Klein. Academics. Academics is very important. Only 2 people, we can't even remember their names, played in the NFL. They probably were very good students because they played in college. I'm just going to assume that. But I also want to let you know that football has a lot of secondary gains because it helps teach young men and young women to overcome adversity, challenges, deal with the elements, deal with the hand that is dealt you. But academics is very important. That is the #1 expectation of our faculty, of our students, and our students rise to the level of expectation. There are some students who have excelled. These are scholar athletes, and we have 3 of those folks I would like to recognize today. The Scholar Athlete Award is given for each varsity sport to students who have earned a varsity letter and maintained a 3.8 grade point average or higher. We have 3 of those folks we'd like to recognize. 11th grader, Rob Grumet. Rob. Rob's grade point average is a 3.9, and also at a 3.9 is Eric Norwood. Eric? And the 3rd varsity player who has maintained a 4.1 grade point average, Chan Moody. Chan. So thank you for being here this evening and showing your support throughout the season, not only when we started winning, not only when there's a banquet, but throughout the year. And I really like the idea of the varsity seniors, I think, on the pictures. Is that what that is? Varsity seniors? Is that true? Does anyone know who those people are on the, okay. Sometimes we forget that some of these mature young men and young women were those children that looked that way. Everyone could pick out Chan Moody immediately. Did you notice that? Thank you for being here this evening, and thank you for supporting your high school.
We're going to have Jeannie Klein Valentine come up and present the John Klein Scholarships at this time.
Is living in Vail and continuing her education. She'll receive her master's at the annual John Klein Memorial Scholarships. in memory of my father, who died on December 2nd, 1991 of pancreatic cancer. Unlike most of the awards that will be presented tonight, the scholarships are representative of the scholastic achievement rather than the athletic ability of its recipients. Coach Klein was a firm believer in the value of an education. He received his undergraduate degree in education at Colorado State University and pursued until he received his master's degree at the University of Northern Colorado in educational psychology and guidance counseling. From there, he spent the next 36 years of his life teaching and coaching. 26 of those years were dedicated to Arapahoe High School. Whether on the field, in the classroom, or in the home, Coach Klein was always teaching. He was a most incredible man who possessed qualities that can only be taught through example. His honesty and integrity, his optimism and confidence, his dedication to education, and his drive to succeed set him apart. Tonight, 2 students will be set apart from their peers in recognition for their dedication to succeed in the classrooms at Arapahoe High School. The John Klein Memorial Scholarships are funded by the Arapahoe High School Quarterback Club. The recipients are determined by the scholarship criteria under the direction of the officers thereof. The first scholarship, in the amount of $500, will be awarded to the graduating senior with the highest cumulative grade point average during his 4 years at Arapahoe as a member of this football team. And I would like to read to this year's recipient a letter, although he doesn't know who he is quite yet, from last year's recipient, who is Troy Carmen. Troy wrote this letter on August 30th of 1993, shortly after attending Iowa State University for his first year. It says, "Dear Mrs. Klein, I thought I would spend a few minutes to tell you how things are going at Iowa State. The scholarship has been of great use. It paid for my books this semester and part of my education. I made the football team and enjoy nearly every practice. Coach Klein taught his athletes many valuable lessons. I learned that regardless of the circumstances, to never quit giving 100%. Those few words of wisdom kept me going during even the most miserable of two-a-days. Now with our first game on Thursday, I am set for what has and what will be one of the greatest experiences of my life." This year's recipient is Chan Moody. The second scholarship, also in the amount of $500, is awarded to the graduating senior who has got the most improved grade point average during his 4 years at Arapahoe as a member of the ball team. This year's recipient is Eric Norwood. We'd like to extend our congratulations to both of these young men for their success and achievements. And I was going to leave you with a thought that was presented to my father at his retirement banquet in 1990 by Coach Bob Sisler, which happens to be the same thought that Principal Booth introduced this with. And I think it's appropriate that we close and continue what he had to say, because I can't think of anything else that represents, in the eyes of the community who knew my father, the students who he coached and who he taught in the classroom, and his family, and the presentations to Chan and Eric that would better represent how we feel about him. Once again, it's called A Point to Ponder, and the author is unknown. 100 years from now, it will not matter what my bank account was, the sort of house I lived in, or the kind of car I drove, but the world may be different because I was important in the life of a boy. Thank you.
This time I'd like to introduce the sophomore coaches, Rob Eskew and Brian Ash.
I was trying to figure out a good way to describe our sophomore team to you guys and let you know kind of what we were like as a personality for a team. And I think they've done it better than I could ever do it, because when we were dismissing people to go get their dinner, the seniors in their cool manner stepped over there and got their food. And the juniors in their semi-cool manner stepped over and got their food. And then you heard 2 tables turn over. A few people went flying. And that really describes our team, I think, pretty well, guys. We practiced that way. We played our games that way. This team is the most emotional group I think you'll ever see. It's just pure emotion and a lot of talent with this group. And we really struggled the first few games of the year, and we were constantly talking to them saying, guys, you're a good team. We just have to focus our emotions. And we just couldn't seem to do that. We couldn't get our emotions focused. And we just kept talking and talking and playing, and about halfway through the year, it started clicking for some reason. And they turned out to be a very good team. We started beating people, and we beat some people by some pretty large margins. So I think their talent really did come through. So it was a very eventful year. Overall, it was a great year. Had a lot of guys who really came on as players and did a great job for us. Also, I'd like to really thank Coach Ash. He did a great job. He really helped us out. Came in and really glued some things together, helped us stabilize a lot of things, so he did a great job for us. Same thing as we read your names, guys, if you would just file on each side of us. First of all, though, we're going to start with the 2 most important people on the team. They know who they are, I think. So we'll start with our managers. So, April 6th. Liz Riley. They really did a great job for us. Just every day they were out there, they always had anything the guys needed. They had the water there, and just excellent managers. So we really appreciate their efforts there. All right, we're going to start with the guys on the team who are receiving letters of participation. Bill Airy. Matt Bartos. Peter Gallagher. Ted Katrumbas. Kevin Lowe. Brett Marcellet. Chad Nelson. Josh Orblum. Mark Prendergast. Adam Roberts. Ryan Rowley. Josh Seedig. Rich Sonneberg. Ryan Wagner. Ryan had a serious knee injury this year, so it's nice to see him getting around in the manner he is. John Williams. John Wayne. All right, and then these guys will be coming up at this time are guys who did play in the varsity and in the postseason here, and they did receive their varsity letters. Brian Bradford. Mike Cadwallader. Mike was one of our team captains this year, and he did a great job in that role. Another captain, Scott Carana. Scott brought to my attention a personal feat that he accomplished this year, which he was very impressed with. He went through the season without getting a personal foul, and he said that was an accomplishment, so we do congratulate you there. Matt Cutler. Tom Ellis. Another one of our captains and our quarterback, Vince Ford. Jake Hackmeister.
What numbers are on?
Matt Hill. J.D. Hillman. J.D. is another one of our captains. Adam Hunt. Evan Jones. Troy King. Jeff Lucero. And another captain, Ryan McGrady. Another one of our serious injuries that we had occur this year, that's Marcus Mathieson. Marcus really did a good job coming back from that injury, and he played in the final, 3 games, Marcus? So he did a nice job on it. Hank Moody. Mike Nelson. Slade Nelson. Sam Penn. Troy Peterman. Steve Sisler. And another thing, we do have some good numbers this year. It's a very large team. Last year we had some very tough individuals, a good team, and what were there, guys? 16 of us to finish the year or something like that, 15. So this was a reversal this year. We have a lot of numbers, so it's a lot of guys that are going to be moving on to the varsity program. And the varsity coaches will be excited to get this group because they are a good group, good year guys. Well, I'm not too good at making speeches, as you know from last year, but we have an award to give to Mr. Ash. We didn't know Mr. Ash at the beginning of the year, and he couldn't get out there very often because he's a new teacher and he'd always be out there in school doing someone's paper or something, I don't know. But when he did get out there, he had a lot to offer for the team, and he said a lot of things that I think helped us through the season. And when we were having hard times on the team, he had a lot to offer, an older individual.
I'll go ahead and start. We wanted to, this gift here is for Coach Eskew. It fits his personality very well. It'll help him out in his coaching years. It's a special thanks from the D-backs on the varsity and the sophomores. He helped us out a lot. He came out. He was always out there for us. We want to thank Mrs. Eskew because she always had to bring little Josh out in the cold and sit there with us. That was great. Cheerleaders, we wanted to thank. Parents, Coach Allen, Coach Booth, and Mr. Hicks is going to take it over.
Now we're going to have our head coach do the varsity, Coach Larry on.
First of all, it's great to see a large number of people come to the banquet. It shows great support for the program and great support for your son and daughter. Hers. Before I get into some of the awards and stuff, I'd just like to thank some people and say a few words about them. First of all, I appreciate that Mr. Booth and his wife came to the banquet. Mr. Davis. I'd also like to thank my staff. This was a very trying year. There's a lot of ups and downs, but this is a great staff of people. And I'm just getting to know them. And they're great people and they work hard. And I just feel very comfortable with them. I'd like to introduce them now. Bobby's sister, our secondary coach. Come on up, Coach. Paul Nelson, our defensive coordinator. Lee Daniel, he does everything. Les Welker, our offensive coordinator. Jerry Knopfel, our offensive line coach. These are the gentlemen that make a difference in our program. It doesn't take one person to make a difference. It takes a group of guys who believe, care about young men. And I really sincerely believe that this staff does that. The next person I'd like to thank is a person who has been with me for a long time. And we've been through a lot of rocky times and moved around. She's always been by my side and been a great supporter of mine. And that's my wife, Linda. They told me I was going to make this short, but I want to make it as long as I want to make it, okay? So just hang in there. I'd also like to thank the coaches' wives and guests. I know we've kept them away from home a lot of times. I say the same thing I said to the freshman team, is that we need to get in the weight room. We expect you to be in there. I'm going to be in there. Let's get involved. If you're not out for another sport, be involved in that and be ready to go. Academically, it was better than as your freshman year. I look back and there were some things that we achieved academically in the sophomore program which I really felt good about. But I'm looking forward to having a great group of young men come up next year and participate at Arapahoe High School and do a great job and carry on the tradition that these juniors and seniors are going to give to you. You finished the season great, and we're looking forward to having a great season again. Thank you. We're so excited that he's going to be back, and looking forward to having him, and that's Kevin Armitage. You can shake all the coaches' hands and then go on and have a seat. It's tough being the coach's son. And I think he's done a great job with it. He was 3-time All-Conference in this league. He's 2-time All-State. He's going to play in the All-State game. And he was selected today as on the All-Colorado team for the Denver Post. I'm going to miss him. And I think Arapahoe will miss him. Come on up here, Chad. When this player came to me and said, "Coach, I'm coming out for football," I said, "Man, this is going to be an unusual situation for Arapahoe. But I'll tell you what," and I call her a player. She never missed a practice. She never missed a meeting. She got knocked on her butt a few times and got up, and she fought. And she'd come back after those sophomore JV games and say, "Coach, I got a guy. I got after him." It was a neat deal because she was accepted. I never thought it could happen. She's a wonderful young lady. I think a lot of her. I'm sure she's going to do outstanding in life, whatever she does. But Gwen, it was a real treat to have you with this program. You've been accepted by our players, and it takes a special kind of person to take that. And I want to miss you. Brad. But he did it. He never complained. He'd always look at me with those sad eyes, and I even see him in the picture up here with the baby picture. But he was a leader. He was the guy who was telling everybody how to do this and how to do that. We needed that on the offensive line. And when we were 0-5, he came to me and said, "Coach," he said, "we're going to get him. We're going to do it." And we did. He said, "Don't worry, Coach, we're going to come be all right." He's going to be missed. And I hope some of you young linemen spend a little time before he leaves this school and talk to him about what it takes to be a guy that doesn't get any recognition at all, who works his tail off and lets that running back run up the bound of the field. How much time he spent in the weight room working. Mark Peterman, come on up here.
next player, it's pretty easy to pick out from here. So I'd really like to restate what Mark Peterman said, that these coaches never gave up on us, and things were really tough. 0-5. But they kept with it.